Hello, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauren.
And I'm Ian.
And this is week 5, semester 5 of our Strength and Swings class. Over the past year, we've been progressing our skills, and here we are working on get-ups and squats today. We have a kettlebell off to the side, which we'll get to in a couple minutes. But first, we'll start with the body weight and then progress to that kettlebell. Let's get started. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're getting so close to 1,000.
You got it. Let's start working those feet, ankles, like in those lunges, and we'll just get those hands and head necks going from the floor. Start with the ball of the foot, the heel off, and spread those toes. And maybe, depending on how crampy that arch is, point the toes. Then go back to the balls of feet. Let's just do a little switch up, high on those 2 points, and then a flat foot lands. And again, think in the lunge of hugging to the middle, squeezing your back butt cheek. And for right now, though, point the toes on the front, and then go back to the balls of feet. Let's just do that one more time each, of an up and a down, and a last point, nice and tall on that standing leg, back to the balls of feet, up for a switch, good cue there, Lauren, and then again, back to that toe point, back to balls of feet, and this time let's just return the heel to the ground. As Lauren mentioned, some squats that encourages or incorporates those knees towards over the toes, so copy Lauren's stance right there, and then push those hips through, cramping glutes, checking in on those core ab muscles, but then relaxing and softening as we descend and push through back up nice and tall. We'll get more knee bends and squats going, but until then, let's go flat feet. Then those heels might lift and get the knees to the floor, hips through, back up a little bit, make some room, and we'll go hands, fingers, wrists, those drills, but first those head and neck things once we're there. So land with the fingers, the callus lines, and the full hands. And for 2 reps of everything here, extension on the neck, meaning look forward, and then our chin tuck, looking between the hands. Go everywhere, but find that position that's comfortable for you as you go into extension one more time forward, and then that chin tuck or chin neck flexion. Now, first knuckle push-ups is the fingers and calluses stay heavy, and the heels of those hands lift up. Return the heels to the floor, repeat a couple more repetitions, and again, Lauren's sideline profile of getting the calluses heavy, the palms up, with that neutral neck looking between the hands is a great place to start. Do one more, and this time flick away the floor and push the hips through. Cramp the glutes and wear that rib cage down. And go back to the hips and push through, and again, rib cage back down. Then like a swing, we won't be swinging today, but hinge on those hips, pushing the bum back, and make a 180-degree turn with those hands, fingertips landing near the knees. Now from here, shrug up the shoulders into the ears a little bit, but then pull them back down. This is kettlebell class after all. And before we do more on the hands, let's go an ear to shoulder or a lateral flexion at the neck. And then easy does it through the middle, and the same thing to the other side. Check in on how all body parts are feeling as we do that one more time each side, ear to shoulder, and then ear to shoulder the other side. Return to the middle. Now bend your elbows and you might be able to drift forward. Then straighten the elbows as you go back. Then push your fingers toward your knees, creating a little bit of your drift forward. And then from here, let's bend the elbows and straighten them out one last time. Push the floor away, and just again, a little casual shake here. Either in a tall kneel position or the position Lauren and I are showing here, sitting on our heels. Let's go hands across the body and start with a nice rotation of the T-spine and head neck. Move the head very casually from side to side. A rotation, the body staying very quiet, and rotate the head the other way. Now, keep the head forward and just lightly return the body to a rotation pattern to one side, through center, and then to the other. And then as a team, keeping the sternum over top of the chin here, or underneath of the chin.
Keep the chin in line.
Yeah, chin in line with the sternum. Repeat to the other side. The head can move, the torso can move. We can move independently and together. Check in on how you feel, and let's return those hands for one last quick drill. The shoulder blades will take a lot of the work, as will the abs on this one. So go fingertips, callus lines, and full hands on the ground. The knees could stay on the floor. That would be an easier place to place them. Or we could hover the knees off the ground, and at the shoulder blades start with a retraction or a squeeze together, and then elevate to the ears, and then push into the floor and pull back down to the hips. Repeat again, a together retraction an elevating shrug, push into the floor, pull them back down to the hips. And if your knees were off the floor, place them down and just push the ground away. Give a little bit of a reset on those hands and wrists and repeat our same circular shapes of the scapula, but switching direction. So the hands grab the floor. We can hover the knees if allowed, and now start retraction or together, and then depression, meaning down, and then press into the floor, protracting, and elevate. Repeat one more time. A retraction, a pull down, a protract push, an elevate shrug, casually return the shoulders together, push Lauryn as we continue our warm-up.
Let's get up to standing and work those hips from the top to the down. So stand on up however you would like, with or without your hands. Let's have those feet in our slightly turned out position and just rotate our hips a little bit here today. So taking a single leg and pointing it out to the side. Next we're there, let's flex on the ankle. Then the femur is gently going to rotate in, but the pelvis and the core will stay stationary. Then the femur will rotate open. Let's do that one more time on this side. The femur rotates in, the femur rotates open. We'll go back to the pointed foot, toe ball heel, pull across. Same thing other side. Stack yourself onto your standing leg, flex your foot. Femur at the hip rotates in. Then it rotates open, showing the inseam. One more time. We rotate in at the hip, make sure that ankle's not doing more than that upper leg. And last time to open up. We'll point, we'll pull ourselves across this time into our bent leg. We'll be squatting today, so let's get into that bent knee position. Load up that cheek, load up the leg and the adductor, not just wading through the knee. Next, let's do the same thing. We'll flex the standing or the long leg. We'll turn in on the leg. We'll turn open. We'll point it and we'll pull ourselves across. Same thing other side. Load that bent leg and glute as well as the quad. Flex the foot. Turn the leg in. Turn the leg open. Land toe ball heel to center. Both knees are bent. See if we can sink a little lower into this, hanging out, then push down and away to stand up tall. We will be squatting, but we'll also be lunging via our get up. So let's warm up those lunging muscles. Take a single leg and step it back into that tall lunge position. First, don't move. Keep that front shin vertical and just pull together the floor lightly. Extended back hip. Then continue that tension as we pull to that mid station. Today we're going to hang out here for a couple seconds. Could we lift the front heel off the floor into that demi point? Then place the heel down. Let's sink a little lower to that hover station and repeat. Lift the front heel, place it down. We'll land softly on the floor. Here again, we'll make room in that hip, lifting the heel off the floor, and then heel will land. Pushing forward and back, we'll come to hover. Then we'll come to mid and we'll hold. Peel the heel up one more time. Place it down, push off that back leg to hop, step together. Shake it out, repeat on the other side. Leg you can touch, steps back. Again, in this top position, vertical shin, lightly pulling the floor together. Now, descend to mid station, hold. Peel the front heel up, keeping the shin vertical, and then land. Hover position, just off the floor. Make sure your shoulders remain stacked over top of your hips, heels up, heels down, soft landing. On the landing, we lift the heel up and we place it back down. As we come back up, again, important to keep the rib cage on top. Try to avoid that forward lean here. Pushing forward and back, hover. Heel leaves, heel comes down. Mid, front heel leaves, front heel comes down, hop, together. Ooh, give that a little shake out. Let's make our way to the floor and warm up with a nice light arm bar as we've been doing the past couple times. So you'll need a kettlebell. It can be lighter than what you'll use for your get up, as we're just working on that shoulder proprioception and then that T-spine mobility a little bit here. So let me just organize myself.
Awesome.
We'll come down to the floor, and as we do with our get up, we'll start in that cuddle, roll, and two-handed press. The arm that has the bell will obviously stay stacked over that shoulder, and the other arm will come towards overhead, and the other leg nice and long. So you have a nice long line between that on that offloaded side. Now, just like the get up, use your hip to drive yourself to your sideline body. Stay here for a second. Rest your head on your bottom arm, trying to reach that arm back a little bit further. Then tape that leg and hook a foot so it's behind the knee. We'll just hold here for a second. Now, as allowed, we'll unhook the foot And we'll try to roll that hip towards the floor. Breathing. I like to think about wringing myself out like a washcloth. I'm trying not to look at my bell, but to look ahead, to make that shoulder work by keeping the elbow straight and the wrist straight, as well as keeping the shoulder out of the ear and pulled into the lat. For 3, 2, then slowly make your way to your side. Foot finds the floor. Use your abs as you control yourself to your back. Pull the bell down. Return it to the cuddle. Let it go. Spin yourself around, and we'll repeat on the other side.
So it's always that cuddle. Get a nice firm grip, knuckles fully connected to that kettlebell, and the two-handed press overhead. The unloaded arm goes straight overhead, that shoulder flexion, and then the bent leg, like a get-up, push through, initiating yourself onto the side. Then hook a foot, find some balance, and then spread out just a little bit, trying to, again, as Lauryn said, pack that shoulder, nice firm grip. Eyes are open, but try to avoid looking at that kettlebell. Make those muscles work, those proprioceptors. Make sure you can breathe here. And for me, it always feels good to be under that load, and with control, return to your back. Get the two hands on, pull the kettlebell down towards the hip, initiate the roll back to the cuddle, and check in. How does it feel to be underneath your kettlebell load today?
Great.
And then we're up.
Let's warm up our rack position here because we're going to be doing some rack squats, some get-ups, and some fun things from that position today. So we'll pick up our bell, hold it in the rack for the first round, and then we'll explore a round of squats here. Over top of our bell, using our hinge, first hand grips, cuddle, and pose to rack. Remember, in that rack position, we have a nice vertical forearm. Our bell is resting more on our forearm than it is on our bicep. If we feel it a ton on our bicep, the likelihood here is we have a chicken wing. So pull it in tight. Retract, but slightly elevate your shoulders so you can gauge that lat. Squeeze your cheeks, brace your core. Thinking about pressing this for 3, 2, two hands on. Park that bell. Shake it out. Let's repeat on the other side. It's a hip hinge. Grip with 1. Punch through. Rack position, same checklist on this side. Vertical forearm, nice straight wrist. Knuckles pointed towards the sky. Elbows in, shoulder retracted, lat engaged, ribs over hips, cheeks squeezed, two hands on. Park bell. Place it down. Whew, shake it out.
And the last little warm-up exercise here, as Lauryn alluded to, could be, say, a nice little kettlebell squat. We will be continuing today's practice going forward with that racks position, but as always, modify as you need, and maybe this goblet hold is more appropriate for you. Let's stand over top of the kettlebell or just slightly back, as I will here, and pull yourself down to your low squat. From here, grab the bell by the horns, take a big breath in, and pull it up into that rack position. Now gently pry those knees apart, looking one way a little bit, taking a breath, but never letting those toes lift off the floor. Find yourself in center. Let's collectively take a breath in again. And that sound you want to make with your abs. Then pull ourselves back down into the squat and repeat one last time. A gentle twisting action or prying action in those hips, but the feet are rooted heavily into the floor throughout. Take a breath down low. Let's stand up tall. And then either use your squat like me or your hinge like Lauryn to return it to the floor. And then I am personally done with that nice little warm-up weight for me. And I have my slightly heavier load off to the side. Choose your load appropriately. Lauryn will be using the same kettlebell load throughout today's practice.
So you might wonder what we're going to do with that kettlebell. We're first going to start with 1 full get up each side from the bottom to the top, followed by 2 in a row, followed by some squats, followed by some combos. Stay tuned for those. Let's first start on the floor with our first get up on each side. So we'll start in that cuddle position. We'll roll to our back and we'll press the kettlebell. Each move is distinct. The first one to our elbow, the next to our hand. Then we'll bridge and sweep through. Hand will leave the floor. We're in that lunge position we warmed up here, so using both legs to stand ourselves up. And then controlling the descent with that lunge back, the step, the rotate hinge, the sweep through to the elbow, and then controlling to our back, pulling the bell down and placing it on the floor. And as usual, we spin ourselves around and we'll repeat that same get up on the other side.
Awesome. So it always, again, is a cuddle move. From the cuddle, a two-handed press. We'll drive the hip, proud on the elbow, and then sitting tall. Bridge and sweep, then press the floor away and square up the body in the lunge and a full stand to tall. Lunge down, squeeze the back butt cheek, open the leg, and now look at that kettlebell again as we rotate underneath. We sit tall, proud on the elbow, and then push off to our back. Two hands, pull it down. One in the books. I think it's time for a double.
So as promised, we'll do 2 in a row here. We'll start on our back, get up, get down, get up, get down. Here we go. First side, cuddle, roll, press. If 2 is too many, go ahead and just pause at the bottom, maybe holding in the firing range position while we do that second one in a row. Or do 1 with the kettlebell, 1 with the body weight. Get as far as you safely can with that kettlebell. Upwards of 2 get-ups in a row here. We're just finishing 1 and we're coming up for that second one. It's still a hip drive. We're not skipping any rooms. We're not going any faster. Taking our time. And then last descent here, underneath that load. Sweeping through, finding the elbow, pressing away with control, and still able to finish that safely. Nice. 2 down, 2 on the other side.
Taking time in between if you need, and Lauryn's strategy for as far as you can safely and come back home. Practice time under tension in each unique position, or as you flow through these 6 sets of get-ups again. So it's 2 for us. It's a cuddle, it's a roll, and a press. Now drive that hip. Sit tall, bridge, looking at the bell, and press the floor away. Square up your lunge, and to stand tall. Step back, squeeze your back butt cheek, open to the side, and look at the bell. Sweep through, find the elbow, return to your back, and repeat every step 1 more time. Drive the hip, tall sit, bridge and sweep, press away, square up your lunge, let's tall stand together, and come back down nice and slow, open, windmill hinge, sweep through sitting tall, finding the elbow, and to the floor. 2 hands, cuddle, turn, and usually it's no hands on that up phase as we finish our get-ups.
So after those get-ups today, we've been working on the squats this semester in that rack position. Last week we added some reps, and we'll be doing the same today. Today is that I go, you go pattern again for 3s, 5s, 3 5s, surprise time.
3 5s, 3 5, surprise.
So let's start here. We'll pull that bell to the rack and start first set for 3.
Awesome. So you're following with Lauryn or with me, but give yourself not a lot, but enough rest in between to stay nice and fresh. 3 squats. Each one looked in a great way the same. Let's do it. Team us.
So you're using that
along.
hinge to pick up the bell, but then you can adjust that stance and adjust to your squat position. Remember the difference between those hinges and squats. Hinges, hips stay high. Squats, hips get low. Breathe. Place the bell down. 3 on the other side.
Low, but keeping the anterior tip or the cow tip of the hip, avoiding that moment where our hips start to wink or tuck under too much. Sometimes it's hard to feel where that is, but break it down. Low, but keep the anterior or cow tip.
So second round for Team Ian here of 3 squats. Again, try to pull yourself down, defying gravity. Don't just slop into that squat. Then push the floor down to stand yourself up. We're up to 5 this time here.
Quick rests, but that's right. Little wave here as you go 3s and 5s. The toes, like in the prime goblet squat, are heavy, and we're gently spreading the knees out over those toes on the down and pushing those hips back through on the up phase. Pack the shoulder in tight. More cues I'm sure Lauryn can share with the hold.
This whole time, from the minute you pick up, the instant, I should say, you pick up that bell, your abs are braced. So try to feel that tree trunk core as you go. You have that brace from the inside out. You're still able to breathe behind it. You're using that little hop to get you out of that bottom position, but you always have your weight of your bell on here, not on here.
That's right. It's heavy in the hand, but the load is on the core. It can be a breath at the very, very top or as you descend, but it's always that Sharp exhale. Hold your breath style on the up to increase that core tension for performance and safety in your lift.
All right, team. Ian, second round of 5 squats in a row. Again, adjust your stance that's just right for you. Pull yourself down. As you warm up, your hips might open up a little bit, meaning you may have to adjust your stance slightly as you go. Pick and choose what's right for you. Finishing up 5 squats here, then we're going back to the number 3.
The wave effect is a 3, a 5, and then coming back down to 3. Finish strong. Maybe you choose your own numbers, but again, something on the lower side for the first set, followed by a couple more that second set. And those quick rests come with quicker reps.
As much as the squat and that meat portion of this workout is very important, so are the layers or that bread. Ian mentioned sandwiches later, so they're just in my mind. But the pick up and the put down of this kettlebell is also important. So pick it up well, put it down well, and then enjoy the ham in between.
That's right. Squat sandwiches.
It's a weird analogy.
Squat sandwiches might be a different analogy, but just take that time to work on those different elements that make up the squat. The grip, the feet, the hips. But
one more set of 3 for Team
delay.
Ian here. And then we have another set of 5. How was this rest treating you? Little to none. Equal work rest ratio with that I go, you go, which we like. But if you need a little extra break, please feel free to take it. Remember, you don't need a ton of work to make a difference. So 3 to 5 reps should do it. Last set of 5-ish, last-ish set of 5.
I forget if I did 3 or 5 there, but we're gonna say I did 3, as this is again a set of 5. The grip is firm, the elbows point to the floor, and the load, we're using the chest, of course, but use the back muscles to keep it supported.
Just as we did in that warm-up in the rack position, the weight is engaged and on those lats. Here on 5.
I know, I'm just listening to the cues.
Oh.
And taking some rest.
Yeah. The weight is hanging off of those lats, which is attached to the hip and the core. So again, yes, you might feel that weight on the outside of your arm. You'll have to just get used to that. And in your hand lightly, but your hand shouldn't feel too much. That kettlebell is resting there. Your wrist is nice and straight. Whew. Second set of 5, correct?
That's a 5. This is the second set of 5. So Lauryn did a nice little cheat clean up there. 1 hand or 2 hands. Get it to the rack. You might adjust your feet. And then find your perfect squat stance for the day. Up to 5. Which I think is right there. Which means we go right now.
If you want one more thing to think about, because you don't have enough already, at the top, squeeze those cheeks. Do notice the difference, though, of squeezing our cheeks and slightly tucking under those hips, and just squeezing our cheeks and staying up nice and tall, keeping the hips extended. Let's try to keep that option number 2 there, where the cheeks squeeze, the hips stay extended, and we avoid that little slump or posterior tip.
That's right.
All right, take a second off. And now last week, we did a little combo and we're going to do similar.
I thought there was another set of squats, but I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut if it wasn't too late.
3-5, 3-5.
Yeah.
There is, but they're gonna be comboed in with this get up.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So we're going to do 2 rounds of get ups. I will say the second round is gonna be harder.
Okay.
Now, with your heavier bell, you might wanna, here, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. The first round, we're gonna be standing. We're gonna press our bell. We're gonna do a full get up down, stand back up, pull our bell to a rack position, and do 5 squats. Then the bell goes down. We'll repeat on the other side. The second time around, we're gonna start at the bottom, do a get up, at the top, pull our bell down, take a squat break of 3, press the bell again, and then finish on the floor.
That's a surprise to me, and that's okay. We're ready for it.
Surprise.
We're ready.
So first time we'll start standing. If you don't remember the second option, that's okay. I'll tell you about it later. Round 1, over top of your bell, clean it, press it, get up down with it. Full get up towards the floor. Take your time as you rotate around and under that bell, all the way to your back. Keep the bell up, return to standing via your get up pattern. Breathing, sweeping, using those legs to tall. If you're good for it, pull the bell down to the rack. Let's do 3 squats from here. 1, feet stay heavy on the floor, push down and away. 2, one more time. 3. Bell goes down. Shake it out. Couple seconds off. How'd that go?
Great.
Great.
Ready for the second side.
So we're going to do the same routine on the second side. Should I keep talking or would you like to?
You can talk.
Okay. We'll take that bell to the rack position again. Zippity-doo-dah. We'll press it overhead. And then it's that full get up down again. Take your time. Breathe, rotating around that bell. And then again, when you get to your back, keep the bell up. Return it back to standing through the get up phases here. Looking at your bell as you sweep through. Good. Now again, we'll pull our bell down in the rack position up to 3 squats. Pull down, press. Pull down, press. One more time. Pull down, press. Bell goes down, stays down for a second. So this next combo, option 1, you do the exact same thing again. You start at the top, you get down, you get up, you do some squats. This next combo I would say is a little harder because we're gonna start on the floor. We're gonna get up. We're gonna have to pull the bell down to rack, squat 3 times, press the bell, and then get back down. I'm gonna give you a third option because I love options. The third option, get up with the kettlebell, pull it down, do your squats, put the bell down, take a little break while we get to the floor, and then join us again on the floor.
I think that option 3 is the one for me.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay, maybe you decide as you go. So no matter, well, if you're choosing option 1, you're doing what you did the last time. If you're choosing option 2 or 3, we're lying down on the floor. We're rolling, pressing, and getting up via our get up here. It's that bridge sweep, pushing the floor away, and pressing to tall. So at the top here, we'll pull our bell down and we'll perform 3 squats. 1, 2, 3. Either put the bell down or press the bell overhead. Good. And then finish your get up back down. This option is a little bit harder because it's more time underneath that kettlebell as well as a bonus press. Pull the bell down, return it to the floor. Great job. Take a couple seconds off. And whatever option you went with, you have to do the same on the other side now.
However, I might have to use that push press or a little spotting press to help that back up on my other side.
No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
We're ready. It starts with the cuddle, with the roll, and with the 2-handed press. That full get up again. Bridging, pressing through. Both legs on your lunges. Then bell comes down, 3 squats. 1, 2, 3. Use your legs, use your arms, use what you need to. Press the kettlebell. And then it's a full get up. Back to the floor. Taking your time-ish as you safely return to your back. Pulling the bell down. Woo. Great.
Whew.
Nice work.
Got it.
So we ended up doing 10 get-ups.
Perfect.
Great. And many squats that I'll add while Ian's talking.
And the sandwiches.
The sandwiches.
So add up those squats, but who's truly tracking? Well, we are, because it is our 5th semester of section 5 as well, which means that we have 2 more classes later this week. We, on the other side of the room, will press those kettlebells.
44, I think.
Plie with those hips in our Thursday class, 4 p.m. Join us then. And come back on Saturday morning, live or archive, where we'll play with our strength, challenge our rolls, coordination, and those ultimate bodyweight skills like the handstand.
So I think that was about 44 squats. Do the math, review it, watch it again, get some view time in there, and make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out our Patreon page as well as our website. And until next time, take care.
Stay strong.
And let's train soon.
Have a good day.
Goodbye.